I've got a SoundCloud account now, so if anyone wants to follow me on there, feel free to, but I'm not forcing you to. You don't have to if you don't want to. You know, I'm not putting a gun over your head. Pew pew! Hi, I'm Marty, and today, welcome to episode 12 of this series that I do, Story Time, where I tell you a story that actually happened. However, unlike the channel Actually Happened, that I mentioned all the other times, my stories are actually true. So last time, I told you about the time how my mate broke my earphones, but now I'm going to tell you about the time my other mate broke my chances. You're starting to see how all my story times are linked together. Just when you thought you've had enough of me talking about girls, mate, I've got a fucking another one. I don't know what to fucking tell you. My fucking mate is a fucking backstabber because he fucking told everyone that I had a crush on this girl. Like, what the fucking hell, man? What the fuck snitch? I don't know what the fuck his problem is. But no, seriously. If you have a mate who really likes one of your girl mates, you don't tell her, you idiot. Anyway, this story took place nearly a year ago at some point around mid-May to early July 2019. But first, let me give you a little backstory. I haven't said that in a while. Remember 5 story times ago when I said, I have a mate who gets along with both me and my ex-girlfriend? Well, while we were going out, every lunchtime at college, we would sit in the cafe and there was the 5 of us, me, the ex, who made me cross, and who I'm giving a she really did a number on me. And that number is 24, because she's my ex-girlfriend and X is the 24th letter in the alphabet. My mate and these 2 cousins, one of them is the girl who I'm going to be talking about. These 2 girls, one of them short, brown hair and a little bit overweight, and the other one tall, skinny and blonde. You don't need to have a brain to know which one I was after. I mean, let's be real, Cortex said it himself, blondes do have more fun. I will be playing Twin Sanity after I finish Nitro Kart. However, I wasn't after her straight away because I was taken by a fucking oxygen waster. Waste her. I think I'm just putting myself on thin ice, constantly bringing her up. Anyway, it wasn't until a while after we broke up, thank fuck for that I started to take a liking to her. My mate was the first person to find out, and I didn't tell him. He just found out on his own because of the way I kept unintentionally talking about her. A few days later, we are sitting together. The only difference is there's only 4 of us this time because of her no longer being in the picture. Good. Anyway, we're chatting to one another. I'm talking to the girl who I was trying to get with. And one thing I really liked about her, aside from everything else, is the fact that she's 1 year, 10 months, and 1 week older than me. I was born 9th of February 2002, and I dare someone to do the maths. Whoever gets it right first, your comment will be pinned. But you need to say the year as well. Like, even if you put the date and month correct, but don't say the year, it won't count. Anyway, I mean, we've already had our birthdays this year, but last year when this was happening, I was 17 and she was 19. Anyway, while we're talking, I started to notice my mate hanging over my head. Basically, what that means is he kept making comments that were subtly hinting and giving away the situation, and the other girls started joining in as well, with shit like, oh Marty, talk to her then, or so let's talk about you two, or oh Marty, you'd be terrible at a date, she would have gotten bored right now. And bear in mind, she didn't know I liked her, she had no idea. So I'm sitting here sweating because I'm trying to have a decent conversation with a girl who I'm trying to get to like me back, and I've got these 2 fucking snakes near me trying to stitch me up. And I was getting to a point where I wasn't sure of whether to trust them or not. So I'm like, oi, there's another girl next to you, go talk to her instead of being a dick, man. And not only that, but he kept farting in front of her on purpose, which was making her disgusted. Sounds like something my big brother would do. At one point, I even had to kick him on the leg as like a secret signal to shut up. But even then that didn't work, because all that did was make him go, Marty kicked me. And all that going on made even worse by the fact that I couldn't even sit next to her, because I always have peanut butter sandwiches and she's allergic to peanuts. So a few more days later, I decided if I couldn't express how I felt about her through talking, thanks to dickheads like them, I decided to write it down. And that did sound like a good idea on paper. Get it? Because I'm writing it down on paper. Anyway, so I filled the whole paper of me just basically explaining my feelings about her, along with my number at the end. guess what? Even that got fucked over. Because I was chilling with a group of other mates, talking about kinks, and they asked me if I had anyone in mind, and I was like, shit, because now I've been put in a position where I've either got to admit it or lie. And I don't like to lie, so I told them about the girl, and I even told them about the letter, and they really wanted to read it, and I didn't want to say no to them, because otherwise I'd feel bad. So I let them look at it, and afterwards they said, yes then Marty, I rate that. But then a few days later, those guys told my other mate, you know, who I kept talking about earlier, then he told the whole class. So now, this whole situation has been completely circulated around the class, and I know that's kind of my fault for showing the piece of paper, but that was only because they asked me about it. And also, even if I did lie, it wouldn't have worked, because I'm not a good liar. Because when I lie, my face goes red. I shouldn't really be telling you this, because now you know when I'm lying. So this letter I had, the original plan was to give it to her, not in that way, when lunch is finished and we need to stop talking to each other. But because those two idiots were there, as you can imagine, it didn't go as planned, because while we're talking, he said, so Marty, when you gonna give it to her? Then the other girl said, right, this is bugging me, I'm getting impatient, what have you got for her? And it continued for God knows how long. So I decided, fuck it, just make 'em shut up. So I gave it to her early. And to top it off, instead of her reading it herself, the other two insisted that they read it out loud. So I'm just like, for fuck's sake. An incredibly awkward moment where those two are reading out loud what I wrote about a girl who was right there. Guess what? She already knew about it because he told her how I felt about her. I wasn't there, but apparently she made a face when he told her. Anyway, despite that, she accepted my number anyway, and so I decided every couple of days when college is finished, I'll call her. Guess what? I never got to talk to her over the phone. Every time I tried to call her, I'd get no answer. And I know it was the right number because the closest I ever got was her sister going, sorry, she's not here. She left college early because of the age difference. One time, when I'd nearly given up, I was on my PS4, I got a message from him saying, Marty, you should try and ring her, she wants to, but she's too shy. You do realise that shy is just an excuse for people to be rude, do you know that? Anyway, so I decided to take his word and call her, and nothing. So I gave up because I'm not one to stalk people until they finally answer, so I decided to just leave it. And I have not seen her since she left, but I did get a notification saying that she subscribed to me. As for my mate, I decided to not let the fact that he fucked me over to get to me. After all, you know that saying, bros before hoes. Actually, now that I think about it, why would you want to fuck your own brother anyway? I'd rather kill myself than fuck a man who looked like Stephanie from Lazytown. No offense, Blake, but no, seriously. Me and him are in the same college that I'm going to now, but we don't see each other very often because of the timetable. The last time I saw him was, again, when we were discussing that video I mentioned earlier. Then we got talking about the new characters in Mortal Kombat 11 because he loves Mortal Kombat as well. He's bloody better at the game than me. And then finally, followed by me saying, I'd given up on her. Then he started laughing. Anyway, so that was episode 12 of Storytime. That was the time about how my mate broke my chances. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked this video, then share, leave a comment, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. And if anyone out there thinks that my videos are crap, let me know why in the comments and hopefully I'll improve. And if you're new to this channel or you just found it, feel free to subscribe if you want. And before I leave, I just want to say, yes, I did hear the news about George Floyd, and it is sad, and I am glad that, don't get me wrong, I am glad the police officer got put in prison. You don't crush someone's throat until they die, especially someone who has corona as well. But I am sad for George Floyd, but I don't want to be that guy. But I can't help but think that if he was white, no one would have said a word. Just my opinion. Anyway, I'm Marty. Bye. I will see you very soon. I'm out.